Rewind, start over.
All right. Did you get that, Richard? No.
Okay, so I'll take this one.
Oh, here. And this one? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Do you need more?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for attending our supplemental insurance meeting.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. So, hey guys, real quick, we're going to listen to some folks from Aflac talk about some benefits that are provided. We currently have our supplemental insurance coverage through a company called Colonial Life. If you are currently under a Colonial Life policy, you're still covered through the end of the year. Some things happened where Colonial Life necessarily didn't want to do business with us in 2018. So I called Aflac yesterday. Here they are today. So I apologize if it seems a little rushed, because it is. Basically, what you need to know about supplemental insurance is you don't have to be enrolled in ODC's health insurance. You don't have to be enrolled in ODC's dental. This is kind of like a la carte. This is stuff that you just pick, and it comes out of your paycheck. You kind of pick it, then forget about it until you need it. I'll take care of everything on the paycheck side, but once you hear all the plans that are offered, we're going to have enrollment meetings on Monday, and it's going to be, I'll send out an email, it'll be based on everyone's last name. There'll be 3 or 4 Aflac employees here that will sit with you and go through all the plans, talk about the costs, which they'll touch on as well. But basically, this is something you don't have to take it. It's just a benefit that I think after hearing the benefits from the construction meeting, I'm probably going to sign up for some of it, but don't mean to influence you at all, but it's pretty cool stuff. So without further ado, I will sit through my second Aflac presentation.
Well, I want to thank everybody for their time. My name is Chase Green. This is Morgan Strong. And we want to thank ODC for letting us be a part of their voluntary benefits package. I'm just going to go through some of the benefits that's available to you through payroll deduction. So if you have any questions while I'm going over it, just say, hey, I got a question, be quiet, and I'll stop and answer any questions that you have. Aflac really is, what we're going to do is we're going to pay cash to policyholders in the event of injury or illness. This does not replace any of the health care at all. We still need to have that stuff, so it doesn't change any stuff with health care reform. We're going to pay cash directly to policyholders in the event of injury or illness. You can use the money to pay for your medical bills and your deductibles and stuff, but realistically, we're going to pay our rent, our mortgage, keep the lights on, and keep the food on the table. One question to think to yourself is, if you got hurt or if we got sick, how long can we go without receiving a paycheck? And 90% of Americans, it doesn't matter who you are, most of us, we all live paycheck to paycheck. So what I tell a lot of people, if you can think of what you make per hour per week, if you can sacrifice an hour wage of your work to maybe an hour and a half, you're able to put together a financial safety net. Protect yourself, your family, but more importantly, your income. Most of us, our biggest asset to ourselves and our families is the ability to show up to work every day and bring home that paycheck. All right, so I'm going to go over some of these programs that's available to you. This is our most filed claim. This is our accident policy. We file one of these every 4 seconds. It could be anything from a paper cut to a chipped tooth. Anything that causes bodily harm. We just ask you to go seek treatment in 3 days. Doctor, hospital, walk-in clinic. One key thing with our accident policy and all of our policy is that we do not coordinate benefits with any major medical. We don't coordinate any benefits with workman's comp. This is cash that's going directly to you. So just for going and seeking treatment, we're going to pay $120 just to go walk into the door. If you get x-rays, we're paying $200. Depending on how bad the accident is, we'll pay anywhere from $35 all the way up to $12,500. The more hurt that you are, the more money that you get. If you're confined, we're going to pay $1,000 upon initiation, $250 a day for up to a full year. Intensive care, it's $2,000, $650 a day for up to 15 days. There's so much that's included in this program. I'm not going to go everything for the sake of time, and I'll probably get Charlie Brown on you. But it also comes with $50,000 accidental death benefit. God forbid if someone is to pass away by accident. There's follow-up treatments if you need a walker, wheelchair, back brace. What's brand new is that there's an organized sporting activity event where we're gonna pay additional 25% of benefits payable, limited to $1,000 per policyholder. So this, we're gonna pay out regardless of anything. Whether if you're doing hazard sporting activity, it just can't be anything illegal. You can't be robbing banks or creating felonies or anything like that. Now, if you were at the Christmas party and you got pulled over, we're gonna ask for a police statement just to make sure that there was no drinking and driving or anything like that. All
If
right?
you fell over at the Christmas party and got hurt though,
That's a great question. You would get paid, as long as you seek treatment in 3 days. Great question. All right, this plan is very affordable. It's $5.37 for an individual. After it's in place for 1 day, usually with our medical insurance, wellness exam, so if you go get a physical, usually those are at no cost with health insurances nowadays. But if you go get an eye exam, a dental exam, a physical, we're gonna pay one person per policy $60 to go do that. All right? Anyone that has kids, this should be a must to have this on your kids. Usually they're the first ones to use it. And as a parent, whenever my kid went to the hospital, I didn't go to work that day. So it wasn't anything I hit the jackpot off of, but it supplemented my income for those 2 days of missed work. Does anyone have any questions on this program? All right, we have the capability of paying this in 1 day, which is huge. All right, let's see our next one. I always say that these two really go good together because this is gonna be 24 hours on and off the job, all right? This is short-term disability. This is gonna cover accident and sickness. I like to think of this as paycheck insurance. This is really important, especially if your household depends on you bringing home that paycheck weekly. It's very important to insure it. All right, the rates on this go off of accident and illness. Whenever I was looking at the colonial bill, a lot of people had a 0-30. What that means is that if you're in an accident, we pay immediately, 30-day wait for sickness. What we put in here is a 0-7, which is gonna pay fast. So if someone is in an accident off the job, we're gonna pay immediately. There's 0 wait for accident. There's a 7-day wait for sickness because we don't pay for common colds, flus, hangovers in some industries. So let's say, for example, if I was out of work for 10 days because I got the flu, there's a bug that's going around, disability starts on the 8th day for sickness, so it's gonna pick up 8, 9, and 10. All the rates are in there as well, we'll go over that in a second. So the rates on this depend on age and income, and we sidebar with that because we don't expect you to blurt out your income in front of everybody. So these two really go together, especially for the guys that are out in the field. All right, any questions on our short-term disability? For our ladies, this covers maternity leave as well. So it covers 6 weeks natural, up to 8 weeks cesarean, and if there's complications, we extend it out. So I highly recommend this, especially for the ladies, the younger ladies. Nowadays, we don't plan to have kids, sometimes they just, pop up. Yes, ma'am?
Is there a waiting period for that though?
No waiting, well, there's a 7-day wait because I don't know why they count it as a sickness, so it's gonna start on the 8th day.
Well, I mean, if you sign up for this tomorrow and you're already pregnant, are you?
Oh, no, ma'am, that's a good question.
Or do you have a certain amount of time that you have to have it before that?
Your effective date is gonna be the 1st, so you wouldn't be able to have the baby within like 10 months? 10 months, yes.
Right.
It means deliver the baby.
Deliver the baby.
So if you plan on getting pregnant, get the policy, get pregnant in February.
If there's premature, we pick that up. That's a very good question.
For a natural term labor. So that's
Yes.
important. I had my son early, so they would take that into account.
Yes, and if there's complications, they extend it out. All right, very good question. All right, any questions at all on the short-term disability at all? Okay. The next one is our cancer policy. Aflac pioneered supplemental insurance. They're the ones that started it all in Columbus, Georgia. And it all started off with this cancer policy. This one's probably the most important to me. 1 out of every 2 men is gonna have some form of internal cancer, 1 out of every 3 women. If we have health insurance, usually health insurance is gonna cover about 50% of what cancer treatment costs. The other, they're expecting us to come out of pocket. And most of us all know someone that's gone through that battle. The thing that I'm really passionate about this policy is that it doesn't cap out. 90% of what we pay out, you'll see there's no lifetime maximum. So that means if the individual keeps on fighting, we keep on paying. And kids are at no additional cost on this policy as well. After it's in place for 30 days, any covered person, if they go get a cancer screening done, will pay $75 for every individual once a year on this program. Yes, ma'am.
What's the max age on kids?
26.
Okay.
So the day that they're turning 26 at 12 o'clock, that's whenever it cuts off. That's a very good question. And it's really important to look over the riders on this as well. We put the base in there, but they have additional riders. You don't have to have it. It just gives you broader coverage and richer coverage of the program. And it has all the details here in the pamphlet. Any questions on our cancer policy? All right. Our next one is our hospital. To make this really simple, this is just to help use bridge deductibles. All right, just to help with those rising costs of everything that's going on. It's really popular because it covers accident and it covers sickness. It covers both. So if I was confined into the hospital for accident or sickness, we're going to pay $1,000 upon initiation. It doesn't have to be anything catastrophic to use. It has physician benefits built into there, where we're going to, pay $25 just to kind of help with those co-pays. For an individual, we'll pay up to 3 times. If you have the family, we'll pay up to 6 times. Levels 1 and 2 are guaranteed issued. 3 and 4, we're going to ask some health questions, and you can pretty much go down the line on what we're going to pay out on this. And if you really want to get more into detail, here's all the details and stuff. There's really no small print on there. All right. Any questions on our hospital policy?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
How long do you have to make a claim?
There's no statute of limitations. So as long as you paid on your premium, it doesn't matter. So
Okay.
that's a very good question.
But you need to seek treatment though.
Yeah, you need
As
to
long
seek
as you have
treatment
the
within
treatment
3
within
days.
3 days.
Yes, sir.
So
All
if you
right.
fall down, you go to the doctor within your 72 hours, then you forget to call me or forget to go on one day pay to submit it, you call me in a year and say, hey, Morgan, a year ago, I fell down. I'm like, oh, okay, great, let's get you set up.
Mhm. Good question. Any question on the hospital program? Last but not least, this is more of our serious stuff. This is going to cover heart attacks, strokes, paralysis, third-degree burns, anything in the intensive care unit. I always recommend this program is if there's a family history of heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure, and so forth. So just to give it an example, for a first occurrence benefit, we're going to pay $7,500 for a first occurrence benefit on this. Days 1 through 7, if I was in the hospital, we're going to pay $800 a day. Days 8 through 15, we're going to pay $1,300 a day, and you can pretty much go down the itemized list of what we're going to pay out. Now, yes, sir.
Can I get one of those back?
Yeah. Now, all of our programs are stackable, so if I had the accident and the short-term disability, we're gonna pay on both. Or if you had 3, we'd pay on all of them. Also, too, is that we have the capability of paying claims in 1 day. Short-term disability is the only one that we can't pay out in 1 day because we need a physician's note, basically just, writing you out of work. But what our promise is to every single policyholder is that if you're hurt or if you're sick, your brain may not be there. So we've been to people's homes, we've been to job sites, we've been to people's offices, whatever it takes to file that claim. But you have to call us. You can't just get hurt and then get frustrated that, oh, Aflac didn't pay. You gotta let us know. So I can't stress enough, whenever you do sign up for your policy, you get your policy number, register for 1 day pay. You put in your direct deposit, and it's as simple as you just upload your claim documents, and we can direct deposit it the next day. Just do it before something bad happens. I didn't do it, and in this business, did you have a question?
Will somebody, this seems like a lot of work. Will somebody help me learn how to sign up and file a claim?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Morgan Strong. I'll
Yeah.
help you sign up and file your claim.
Yeah.
It
So-
really is super easy. It's one very short thing on a website, and like I said, I'm Morgan Strong. What I'll probably do in the new year, because we did go through this kind of fast, is even have an office hours, like a couple times in like maybe 1 week, and then the next week I'll be here for a couple hours at lunchtime, first thing in the morning, so that I can help everybody if you need it.
Yeah, I can't stress enough, just register for 1 day pay. I really hope no one ever has to use this stuff, but unfortunately, things that happen. Just do it before something happens, because I didn't do it, and then something happened to my son, and then I needed help filing the claim. And it's a very, very simple process. Also too, is that our rates, they never go up. So once you lock in your premium, it's never gonna go up, which is very rare in this type of industry. Also too, is this, did you have a question, ma'am?
Oh,
Okay, they're portable too. So if you moved out of state, if you have to leave, you can keep what you have. And that's, very important for stuff like short-term disability and stuff like that. Did anyone have any questions? We kind of went through it. I can't stress enough is that sometimes we talk to some people that have been through a lot of things and see a lot of things. Stick to something that's within the budget, like about what you make per hour per week, maybe to an hour and a half at the most. We can kind of build it as it goes along.
Chase.
Yes.
Do you guys have an app that we can like download on our phone and?
Coming soon.
Um,
Coming soon. So in the packet over here is a pre-enrollment sheet, and it's gonna have all the pricing and everything on the back over here. And then these are the rates for short-term disability too. So just to give you an example, let's say if I make $24,000 a year, and I'm 34 years old, it's gonna be $7.20 a week, and my benefit would be $1,200 a month for up to 3 months per claim. So this is built on a 0.7. I think it's the best of the best, because if we're hurt or sick, I need my money as soon as possible. So if you're in an accident off the job, we're gonna pay immediately, 7-day wait for sickness. If you wanna build it out, because some people have colonial, like a 0.14, that means if you're in an accident, we pay immediately. There's a 14-day wait for sickness. It's gonna be a little cheaper, but you can custom build it however you want to, whatever you felt would be a benefit for you. And all the pricing's up here as well. If you have any questions, if you want to sidebar with anything, we'll be here for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, just let us know.
And guys, like I said, they'll be here with some other folks on Monday. I think they said if you want to enroll, it typically takes like 15 minutes, but
Not even that, but
yeah.
the main thing is please fill out that pre-enrollment sheet. It does not bind you to anything. It's just so we can enter the data into the computer and then just check off if there's any points of interest so we can pre-fill out everything. And it just helps us guide you without having to, hey, what's your address? What's your telephone number? What's your wife's name? So that's usually what takes up the process. But if we get that, we can fill it out. It does not bind you to anything, and we're gonna give that back to you as well.
Yeah, and I know this is pretty quick, and sometimes it's embarrassing to ask questions. Like if you have questions over the weekend, Monday morning, you sit, ask all the questions. It's kind of a big decision, but
We'll be back.
they'll be back. And what I'm trying to say is they'll spend time with you and answer more one-on-one questions during the enrollment time, if you choose to enroll.
Hey, Brian, I have a question.
Yeah.
If, say, an employee maybe had a personal issue that they wanted and maybe would take a little bit more time, could they maybe send you an email and say, hey,
I think that's a
I
great.
need a little bit more time?
I think that would be a great idea.
We're gonna block off like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Also made another good comment, this is all on pre-tax.
Right.
Except for short-term disability, which is post-tax, you don't get taxed on the benefit when you get it. So it does actually save you a little bit of money
Yeah.
every check because it's pre-tax.
Yep.
I do have a question. Let's say you have a pre-existing condition or pre-existing, with an injury that occurred previously, does it claim get denied in any case?
Well, with the accident policy, there's no pre-existing accident, so we're good to go with that. If you have a pre-existing condition, that's a really good question. So like, let's say if I blew out my knee, all right, and I signed up for this January 1st, and that knee caused me to miss work. Aflac wouldn't pick that up until it was in place for a year. So 12 months after the effective date for the short-term disability.
How about the hospital policy?
The hospital policy, same thing with the hospital policy.
So it has to be something incurred once you're covered.
Yes, yes. But after it's in place for a year, it's picked up. It covers it. So that's a very good question.
Pre-existings all fall away after 1 year.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it, guys. I want to thank everybody for the time. We'll be over here if you have any questions or anything.
Guys, will you please hand me your enrollment forms if you have them filled out? And I'll send out the email for the
That's the number one
appointment.
thing you can do to get in and out when you do see us. If you're curious, if you wanna talk to us, please fill out those things, that's what takes the longest for us to do is we sit with you, so as soon as you get it out, we'll have everything preloaded for you.
Care,